the European Union's decision to slap tariffs of up to 38% on Chinese electric cars is a brazen act of economic aggression that risks plunging the world into a new era of trade hostilities. This isn't just about protecting European manufacturers. It's a calculated move to cripple China's booming electric vehicle industry, a sector that has rapidly outpaced its European counterparts in innovation and production. Critics argue that the OUI is hiding behind flimsy justifications of market fairness, while engaging in blatant protectionism that could backfire spectacularly. As the E2 aligns itself with the US's aggressive trade policies, it signals a disturbing shift towards economic nationalism that threatens global trade stability. This decision exposes deep cracks within the EU itself, with key member states like Germany openly opposing the move. Stay with us as we unravel the layers of this high-stakes conflict, delving into the political machinations, economic consequences, and the looming threat of a full-blown trade war. Hello and welcome back to Innovative Check YouTube channel, where we delve into the innovative and transformative projects changing our world. If you're new to the channel and enjoy learning about innovation stories around the world, you've come to the right place. Please subscribe, like, and comment to help boost our videos on YouTube. The European Union threatened on Wednesday to hit Chinese electric car imports with additional tariffs of up to 38% from next month following an anti-subsidy probe, a move that risks triggering a trade war. Brussels provoked China's ire by launching the probe last year in a bid to defend European manufacturers. Hours before the announcement, Beijing warned that such a move would harm Europe's own interests. There is also dissent within the ATU, with Germany, a major trade partner to China, saying the tariffs would harm German companies. The European Commission has now ordered a provisional hike of tariffs on Chinese manufacturers. 17.4% for market major BYD, 20% for Geely, and 38.1% for SAIC. The Commission said the amount depended on the level of state subsidies received by the companies. All other electric car producers in China, which had cooperated with the Commission's probe but were not sampled, would face an average duty of 21%. It added the remaining BEV producers, which did not cooperate with the investigation, would be subject to a 38.1% duty. This would be on top of the current rate of 10% on all electric cars produced in China. The Commission has provisionally concluded that the battery electric vehicles value chain in China benefits from unfair subsidization, which is causing a threat of economic injury to EU BEV producers. It said in a statement, should discussions with Chinese authorities not lead to an effective solution, these provisional countervailing duties would be introduced. It added, just a quick reminder to hit the like button below. YouTube has been restricting my videos a lot recently because of bots, so your like does help out this video massively in terms of the algorithm in YouTube. The tariffs will apply provisionally from July 4 and then definitively from November, unless there is a qualified majority of EU states, 15 countries representing at least 65% of the bloc's population, voting against the move. China warned prior to the announcement that the tariffs would amount to protectionism. It goes against the principles of market, economy, and international trade rules, undermines China-EU economic and trade cooperation, as well as the stability of the global automobile production and supply chain. Foreign Ministry spokesman Lin Jian said, China will take all necessary measures to firmly safeguard its legitimate rights and interests. He said Brussels launched the probe last year, with officials saying they wanted to put the brakes on what they claimed were unfair practices undercutting Europe's car manufacturers. The EU's tariffs, while high, are lower than the United States' 100% rate imposed from last month on Chinese electric cars, not all 27. EU member states welcome the Commission's move. Germany, Hungary, and Sweden already expressed reservations about the investigation and the push to slap higher duties. The European Commission's punitive tariffs hit German companies and their top products. German Transport Minister Volker Wissing wrote on X, cars must become cheaper through more competition, open markets, and significantly better business conditions in the EU, not through trade war and market isolation. Wissing said, China is an important market for German car makers, while Hungary, which a month ago hosted a visit by Chinese President Xi Jinping, is clearing land for a BYD factory to be built next year. Geely owns Volvo, the Swedish-based auto manufacturer. The Chinese Chamber of Commerce, to the AUICC, warned the rates announced will pose a serious market barrier and slammed the politically motivated and protectionism-driven investigation. The CCC said the probe lacked substantive and substantiated complaints from its domestic industry, since it was launched by the Commission without a complaint from manufacturers. Chinese media ramped up threats that Beijing could target AU exports, including pork and dairy products. In the weeks running before the Commission's decision, China is an important country for the EIA's agriculture sector, and any move by Beijing could deliver acute pain to European exports. The EU exported dairy products, worth around 1.7 billion euros, $1.8 billion last year, down from nearly 2.1 billion euros in 2023. The Asian country is the third destination for the EU's agri-food exports after Britain and the United States. China is the world's biggest car exporter, and Europe is a critical market for it. EU imports of EVs from China mushroomed from around 57,000 in 2020 to around 437,000 in 2023, the US-based Peterson Institute for International Economics said, ahead of the US move. Germany's Kiel Institute for the World Economy said in a report that a 20% tariff would mean 125,000 fewer Chinese electric cars to the EU, worth almost $4 billion, as the world watches the escalating trade tensions between the EU and China. Concerns about the broader implications on global trade and economic stability are mounting. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen emphasized the need for a balanced approach, stating that while protecting domestic industries is crucial, it is equally important to maintain healthy trade relations with key partners like China. The stakes are high for both sides. For the AU, the tariffs represent a defensive measure aimed at leveling the playing field for European manufacturers who have long complained about being undercut by heavily subsidized Chinese competitors. On the other hand, China views these tariffs as a direct threat to its booming electric vehicle industry, which has rapidly expanded its global footprint in recent years. If you're enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to subscribe, share the video, and comment. In Beijing, there is a growing sense of frustration and anger towards what is perceived as a protectionist stance by the EU. Chinese Premier Li Keqiang expressed his discontent during a recent meeting with EU representatives, warning that such actions could lead to a tit-for-tat retaliation that would ultimately harm both economies. Li stressed that China's electric vehicle sector has grown through innovation and efficiency, not just subsidies, and that the EU should recognize the mutual benefits of open trade. The economic ripple effects of this dispute are already being felt. European automakers, who rely on Chinese components for their own production lines, are facing supply chain disruptions. The uncertainty surrounding the tariffs is causing delays in manufacturing schedules and prompting some companies to reconsider their sourcing strategies. Simultaneously, Chinese electric vehicle makers are exploring alternative markets and adjusting their export strategies to mitigate the impact of the EU tariffs. They are increasing their focus on other regions, including Southeast Asia, Africa, and Latin America, where the demand for affordable electric vehicles is rising. Industry analysts are closely monitoring the situation, noting that while the immediate economic impacts are significant, the long-term consequences could reshape global trade dynamics. If the EU and China fail to reach a compromise, the trade war could extend beyond the automotive sector, affecting a wide range of industries, from electronics to agriculture. The political ramifications are also profound. In Europe, the tariff decision has sparked a heated debate among policymakers and industry stakeholders. Supporters argue that the tariffs are necessary to protect European jobs and industries, while critics warn that they could backfire, leading to higher consumer prices and strained diplomatic relations. In China, the government's response is being carefully calibrated to balance assertiveness with caution. Beijing is keen to avoid escalating the conflict to a point where it could severely damage its economic ties with the EU, which remains one of its largest trading partners. At the same time, Chinese leaders are under domestic pressure to stand firm against what is seen as unfair treatment by Western powers. Amid the ongoing tensions, there are calls for diplomatic efforts to resolve the dispute. Trade experts suggest that a negotiated settlement could involve compromises on both sides, such as a phased reduction of tariffs, coupled with commitments from China. To address some of the EU's concerns about subsidies and market access, the role of the World Trade Organization, too, in this conflict is also being scrutinized. Both the EU and China are key members of the U2, and the organization's rules and dispute resolution mechanisms could provide a framework for addressing the issues at hand. However, the W2 has been facing its own challenges in recent years, with criticisms about its effectiveness and calls for reform. As the situation unfolds, businesses and consumers are left to navigate the uncertainty. For European consumers, the prospect of higher tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles means potentially higher prices and fewer choices in the market. For Chinese manufacturers, the challenge lies in adapting to new market conditions and finding ways to sustain their growth momentum. In the broader context of global trade, the EU-China tariff dispute is a reminder of the complexities and interdependencies that define today's economic landscape and underscores the delicate balance between protecting domestic industries and fostering international cooperation, a balance that is increasingly difficult to maintain in an era of rising protectionism and geopolitical tensions. In the coming weeks, all eyes will be on the ongoing negotiations and the decisions made by both the EU and Chinese authorities. The outcome of this dispute will not only shape the future of the electric vehicle market, but also set a precedent for how major economies handle trade conflicts in the 21st century, as stakeholders on both sides continue to push for their interests. The hope is that reason and mutual benefit will prevail over confrontation and isolationism. In the meantime, European manufacturers are bracing for the impact of the new tariffs, with some already implementing contingency plans to minimize disruptions. The automotive industry, a cornerstone of the European economy, is particularly vulnerable to the ripple effects of the trade war. Companies are exploring ways to diversify their supply chains and reduce dependency on Chinese components, though this transition is neither easy nor quick. For small and medium-sized enterprises in Europe, the tariffs pose an even greater challenge. Many SMEs lack the resources to swiftly adapt to the changing trade landscape, making them more susceptible to the negative impacts of the tariffs. Brands associations are calling for government support to help these businesses navigate the crisis, including financial assistance and access to new markets. On the Chinese side, the government is ramping up support for its electric vehicle industry, offering incentives to explore new export destinations and invest in technological innovations. Chinese electric vehicle makers are also strengthening their ties with other emerging markets, seeking to establish a foothold in regions that could offer long-term growth opportunities. Thank you for your attention, and I welcome your thoughts and questions on this complex and vital subject. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, please like and share the video and subscribe to get exclusive videos about how phenomenally China is developing and growing its influence. Your subscriptions and likes motivate us to generate more content, so please keep supporting us. Check out these videos showing on your screen right now, and I will see you on the other side.